touch the ground.
Namaste, Angel. This will be the weekly love reading for the period of Sunday, June 23rd through Saturday, June 30th, the last day of June. So next week we'll begin with July. Isn't that exciting? And so fast. In any case, I'm going to begin today with the opening message, as we've been doing for the past several weeks, from the Journey of Love Oracle, but with a card that I don't believe we've ever seen. I don't think I've ever seen it privately either, like without you guys. It is card number 70, and it is called Heaven. So as always, I would read this one from the book. You are meant to live heaven now, not later, not sometime after you die. What is the use in this life and body if we're not to live heaven now? Look for the grand, mad, divine genius in all that is, especially the puzzling parts of your life that make you scratch your head or tear at your hair or scrunch up your face and scream in frustration. Those are the places in which the divine is saying, here heaven is hiding. Let's unveil it together. Let me show you. Let me unveil your own mad divine genius right here. Look for heaven even in hiding. It will not withhold itself from you for long, beloved. It wants to be known by you. This oracle brings you a special message. The enlightener is calling you to more, to more, to more. More divinity, more love, more acceptance, more embrace of life itself. There is no limit in what is being offered to you from the divine lover calling to you, beloved. Rejoice and know that the dance of love between you and the divine is removing of veils and illusion, one at a time, until you behold each other naked and true. Finally to discover you are each other. You are love. The sky ablaze with morning light, on silver wings of birds in flight. In gratitude, a tear released, a knowingness embraced at peace. She speaks to those that gaze below, ancestral wings which call my soul to open hearts and soar above. In awe the winds await this love. Nice. All right, that was inspiring. Let's get into it. So I'm going to start with the dice, beginning with email. Cocktail. And stay in bed. The energy of email, of course, connected to me to the sign of Aquarius and the planet Uranus, which rules that sign. Uranus, which is currently located in Taurus. And why? Because Uranus and Aquarius rule technology. So there you go. Aquarius also as an air sign, all about communication. So technology plus communication equals email. And online dating and texting and even telepathy as far as I'm concerned, because we too are electric beings. All right, all that said, let's get into this. Spirit says sex. Said that in the general reading too. Spirit says yes, also said that in the general reading. And Spirit says cocktail. Very nice. I've got green and red candles this week, representing a few things. I mean, at first I was like, oh, okay, Capricorn. And what other sign was I paying tribute to? I think the planet Mars. Saturn and Mars. Yeah, that's what I was doing. Saturn retrograde in Capricorn and Mars retrograde in Aquarius. But during all that, and the time to come, very soon, this week actually, the end of this week, is the full moon in Capricorn also. Additionally, Pluto, ruler of Scorpio, the other ruler, because Mars is one too, also retrograde in Capricorn. So I had those. And then as I picked them up and decided I was getting them for those reasons, I was like, well, you know, this green is also Archangel Raphael and this red is also Archangel Chamuel. And the two of them work very, very closely and like hand in hand. Archangel Raphael, like the patron of the heart chakra, and the healer of all things, healer of all, of the ages and all time, at least from the realm of the archangels. And with that, he's a healer of our love, of our relationships even. And again, the heart chakra specifically. So, from where our love beats. And Chamuel, the archangel of unconditional love. Not to be confused with the archangel of love. That would be Daniel. Daniel is the archangel of love and marriage. But of unconditional love, it's Chamuel. So you can understand how the two of them work very closely. So that's what these green and red candles mean to me this week, and for us as far as I'm concerned. I'm beginning with karma, very much connected to the energy of Capricorn and the quote unquote devil from the tarot, and the planet Saturn, absolutely. And opening to mature man, which represents the Mars for me, and that sort of emperor father figure, sometimes overbearing Aries energy. Mature man. And work, which also represents earth signs for me, and maybe specifically Capricorn yet again, or the planet Saturn, although it can also be about Taurus, where again Uranus is, or even Virgo. Yep. Mature man. Oh, there she is. Brunette female, that other karmic energy for me, the female. And I actually saw this and the fair male, which represents the sign of Capricorn for me as well, and the karmic male energy, if it is actually a person. I actually had them opposite one another. And that's kind of like what's going on in the sky. I talk about this in the general, that Capricorn and Cancer are sort of like Capricorn's like the mature, and Cancer is like it's, less mature, immature opposite, or, more youthful and older opposite, playing off one another. Mature man and Aries back, and opening to friendship. Friendship and new love. New love. I'm going to cut on that happy note. Oh, goodness. And I've come to freedom. So all about the energy of Aquarius, again, where Mars is and will be retrograde as of this week. Our overall energy is that with which I began, karma, which again is fitting as far as I'm concerned. Very much attached to the planet Saturn and the sign of Capricorn, and the energy of the devil in the tarot, Major Arcana card 15. Divine couple, recent past, near future, masculine's higher self, blocks to the union. The feminine can do what the masculine can do, further advice from the universe, and the outcome. Divine couple, family, second week in a row, very nice. Can also be representative of family that surrounds either or both, and potentially some sort of party of three. Recent past, Ice King. And this guy also represents the planet Mars for me, and the Emperor. And of course, the air signs. So Aquarius, where Mars is presently and has been for a while. It goes retrograde as of this week, so that the retrograde won't be the near past, or the recent past rather, but the fact that Mars had entered Aquarius is the recent past. So I think that's a connection there. Also, since it's connected to air signs, it can also have to do with Mercury in Leo. And maybe even Venus in Leo, although it's the Ice King. Or just those zodiac signs in general, the energy of those. Again, Leo, Aquarius, Libra, Gemini, Aries, and Scorpio. Which we've also had those. Aquarius, Scorpio, and Leo, 3 of the 4 fixed signs that are also attached to Jupiter. Another sign that is very much about karma and has been in the recent past. Jupiter, ruler of Sagittarius, retrograde in Scorpio, but also connected to the energy of these other signs that are present here. Again, that Aquarius, Leo, and Scorpio energy. Near future. Freedom. So this is when Mars moves into Aquarius in the retrograde rather. It's already in Aquarius. When it goes retrograde in Aquarius in the near future, which is days from now, from the day on which I'm doing this reading. I believe it was the 26th of the month. Of course, I talk about all of this in the general reading at length and rattle off the dates there because I was prepared to do that at that time. Masculine higher self. True gem. So this can still be mined on an actual Gemini, or just somebody or something of value and worth as it relates to love. So the relationship, the person with whom he's in a relationship, himself, of value, of worth, warrants something genuine. But can also be attached to the energy of the sign of Gemini and the Gemini new moon, maybe more specifically, because that had tons of energy. And as I mentioned in last week's general and love readings, was followed minutes later. This was like little known as far as I know, because I didn't hear anybody else talk about it at all. And I didn't know about it myself until I had like a revelation and had to Google, like, what was that vision? Minutes later, after the new moon, 22 degrees Gemini, master number 22, was a partial solar eclipse, 11 degrees Gemini. And that was connected to the energy of all of the other mutable signs as well. And any one with any planet in their chart within 11 degrees of a mutable sign is going to feel this energy the strongest. And of course, the moon phases, they stay with us for a while. It's not just one day. So it wasn't just the 13th, but as far as I'm concerned, at least 2 weeks until the next major moon phase, like the full moon that's coming up in Capricorn, we feel that other energy. But again, as I've been shown, we're going to be feeling some of the effects of that Gemini new moon and the partial eclipse that took place after it, on through till August. In July, with that new moon, I've already, learned that there is going to be another partial eclipse, and then there'll be a full solar eclipse in August 11th. So we've been seeing all these 8s and 11s in the readings as well. All right, so that's what the Gemini, the true gem, is about. And blocks to the union this week. Failure to communicate. I think we all know about this all too well, right? We can fix this, though. I mean, this is something doable. And especially with this energy of Leo. Leo is very much a communicative sign, too. No, it's not ruled by Mercury. No, it's not an air sign. So it's not about, logic and being analytical and speaking truth and all that kind of stuff, but it is very much about expression and creativity and passion as it relates to speaking and writing and things too. So that's communication also. So with the Venus and now Mercury as well, located in Leo, this communication should be able to get going even where it was non-existent before. And also with the Gemini new moon, and it's these two crossing here, the Gemini new moon, I was also feeling new thoughts, new ideas, figure out new ways to communicate where we did fail before. Like, how can we fix that now? I got a new idea. I know what I'm going to do. Instead of, texting, I'm going to send a singing telegram, whatever. I'm sure, well, maybe somebody will do that. I don't imagine anybody will actually do that, but I mean like something different, just brand new ideas. What else can the feminine do this week to work on this? Ice King crossing the Ice King. So I think this is connected to what I was just talking about with this communication. Again, now Venus and Mercury both in Leo as of this week. And so this communication and expression and expressions of love specifically should be, abound. They should abound all over the place. They should be coming out. What can the masculine do here? Soulmate. This is about connecting, and with whom. So the communication and the taking action. Mars is about action. It's the planet of action. In addition to being the masculine planet of love, it can be planet of aggression. And so we're going to get moving there. What can both do? Like further advice from the universe for the two. Work on the friendship. And this was the outcome of last week's reading. So like keep building upon this and upon the relationship. And I'll just remind you about like this wedding band like ring here on this person's finger. It's about starting out as friends and, growing to be more and something genuine and of value, of worth that you don't want to lose. Right? You don't want to lose a gemstone, right? Outcome. Young female, the energy of Jupiter and Sagittarius, and perhaps again the other mutable signs, Gemini, Virgo, Pisces, as well as the fixed signs that are attached to the energy of Jupiter, Leo, Aquarius, Taurus, and Scorpio. Let's see what's on the masculine's mind this week. Switching decks here. I'm going to use the Universal Love Oracle, beginning with balance and this energy of air and water coming together, converging upon one another. Yin and yang. Balance, it's the energy of temperance for me, so that healing energy. Temperance represents Sagittarius in the tarot, but also for me, Aquarius. And again, in this case, can also be a water sign involvement too. Although Aquarius is the water bearer, so it's enough for that as well. And speaking of healing, it's the universal heart healer of the ages. This same color scheme, this same blue indigo. Balance. And more blue is the energy of meditation. So this is more healing. But we talked about this, right? How I had seen the need for healing upon healing upon healing. And unfortunately, tons of you have gotten back to me about your stones just suddenly erupting. They just implode. All of a sudden, a stone in 2 or 3 pieces. You can't even find all the pieces. People losing their jewelry. People losing their hair. People losing their nails. Just like I said, what's happened. We are under severe attack because of all this love and stuff. So that's why the healing is so important right now. As a matter of fact, I may very well, you may see posts from me where I have ultimately decided to extend the sale that I am running presently. for all of my services, readings and healing, so people can figure out where they are and what they need, and get what they need if they like to get it from me also. In any case, opening to earth connection, which is also part of the healing. And we can do this on our own. You don't need me or anybody else to go out and spend some time with Mother Nature. Also, this is connected to earth signs, maybe most specifically Taurus, but also Virgo, Capricorn. And I say most specifically Taurus because it's connected very much to the energy of Venus for me. She is the planet of love and the planet of abundance. And that's what this reflects. When we go out and we spend time with Mother Nature, healing, getting reconnected, getting grounded, putting our feet maybe in the dirt or the sand or even the concrete, if you live in the concrete jungle like me, but just like touching the ground and feeling the current from underneath. Again, we are electric beings. That is how you will begin to heal yourself from the inside out and open up the flow of abundance, where that love and that current begins to move both ways. Love needs to be able to pass both ways in order to be healthy. Okay, so that there's that balance too in the yin and yang, the give and take, right? Giving and receiving. Balance and more energy of air and water, and the need to pay close attention to our intuition as well as our dreams, and to communicate telepathically and electronically. This one of the air signs, most specifically Aquarius, comes through with this star over her third eye, which is, of course, a communication center. We communicate with our third eye. Those of us, awakened to be able to do so. And the star in the tarot represents the sign of Aquarius, communication sign. Also, the star is about our wishes being granted, our prayers being answered, our dreams coming true. So you could be receiving messages specifically in dreams, right? Those two can come together, that energy of dreams and communication joining, meaning that the communication is coming through your dreams. That's going to be very possible. And you don't have to be asleep. These could be daydreams too. And just be conscious of them. And you may want to write those things down too. So you may want to communicate with yourself in writing so you can go back and read. This is very much like the energy of the high priestess. So the high priestess and temperance, think of. The mystic. I'm going to cut. And it's emergence. So with emergence, it's about healing, just like the other cards that we've seen thus far. That's all we've seen. I think it's to be expected again. That's all I've talked about for the past few weeks. This angel, she's surrounded by all this yellow light. Now, first of all, yellow light is all about the solar plexus chakra. So that may be something on which, some of us want to focus, the solar plexus. There's some orange in here too, maybe sacral. But more importantly, with all of this bright light surrounding her and even white light on her face, then where there's light, there's dark. But that must be from where she came. If she's emerging from something and she's emerged into this light, then the darkness must be from where she came. So that's behind her now. That's in her past. And we're going to leave that there. Very nice. The overall energy is the goddess, and further to that, the goddess of the moon, of course. I'm sure this is showing up because of the full moon in Capricorn, and also to guide us to surrender. The moon is all about not only feminine energy, but more specifically for me, feminine energy of surrender for male and female alike, masculine and feminine alike, regardless of gender or archetype or sexuality. We can all slip into our feminine energy of surrender. The feminine about herself this week and her higher self's message to her. The masculine about the feminine, about himself, and about the union as a whole. Overall, what the masculine would have the feminine do this week toward the union as it relates to love, what he himself is willing to the universe would have the to-do and the outcome. Divine feminine, inner child. So this is about, what it sounds, going within. It's also connected to, or what I'm feeling at least, very Six of Cups. So the nostalgia, maybe about your own childhood, or about your relationships with people from your childhood now. Could be issues and things that you have yet to resolve that maybe you're going to be forced to revisit this week with the energy of not only the Capricorn full moon, but again, Saturn, which rules Capricorn, currently retrograde in that sign as well. So that's going to push us back, and you can hear more about that in the general reading. And additionally, again, Mars is in Aquarius. Mars, all this air energy and the stars, here's more Aquarius. Mars is there, also forcing us to revisit some things. Mars in Aquarius, that retrograde is going to make us handle unfinished business, things that are incomplete. And you might not, it'll be somewhat maybe like kind of sort of Mercury retrograde-ish, in that it might not be the best time to start new projects, but we'll certainly be encouraged to handle our unfinished business. So that's what this is connected to. The masculine about the feminine this week. Aww, love. That says it all. I don't have to say anything else about that. About himself, as relates to himself, golden memories. So he's acknowledging that he's got some stuff in his life that he's been carrying around, and at this point it's like a hot bag of shit that he needs to just drop it. He just needs to drop it like a hot rock. Can be connected to the energy of fire signs. Maybe he is a fire sign, or maybe some of this karma is tied to a fire sign with whom he is dealing. Whether that's the case or not, it's about the need to take only the positive things with you and the golden memories, to take those with you, like literally, and leave everything else behind that doesn't benefit you in the future, or doesn't benefit the higher good or humanity, or doesn't serve your partner or anything of any worth or value. Leave the negative emotions and cords to negative people and negative situations, the resentment, the regret, the failure to apologize, the failure to forgive, or inability to communicate, failure to communicate, all that kind of stuff. Drop that, like your hand is on fire from it, because it's holding you back, it's limiting you. I do like how you put the two cards of the matching color scheme next to each other, though. That was cute. About the union as a whole. Listening. So more of this email maybe, and telepathy and communication plus technology equals Aquarius, right? More of this star energy, the need that this is guiding us to communicate, to fix that failure to communicate from the first spread. This is guiding us to do that. But also tying in that energy of the mystic and the need for us to pay close attention to our intuition and follow it, and the guidance that we receive from the universe too, listening to the universe, especially in times of peace and meditation, tuning in. We can also do this while we're outside with Mother Nature. Incorporate that. Overall, expectancy. So the need to drop like these outcomes, pre-designated outcomes that we have all set up, and it's things are going to go this way at this time on this day. This is going to happen. I'm already in union. I'm already like we talk as if we know the universe's plans or God's plans. And we don't. That's ego. So the idea is to drop all of that and live in the moment, sort of like our first, our opening message suggested, right? Live for now. Be in heaven now, not waiting for this anticipated outcome. And actually, I said something similar to one of my viewers earlier, she asked, sweet woman, very supportive of me and this channel, and has been since like early on. She asked me if I needed healing myself, you know, and was wanting to make a gift of it to me. And I said, you know, there's some things going on, you know, in my union too, just like everybody else's. But I try not to use my gifts to read him or our union, because I want to live the experience, not the anticipated outcome. That's what I said to her. You know, I said, but I couldn't thank you more. I thank you so much for thinking about us, you know, even. In any case, that's what I mean about expectancy, like just dropping, expectancy is like making demands upon the universe and telling it how to bless you and when and where. And all that does is block your blessings, basically. So this is the overall energy and something that we need to get away from. Leave that in the past with the rest of the hot bag of shit. What would the masculine have the feminine do toward the union this week? Eternal flame. While he's loving, we have this eternal flame crossing. So he wants you to do the same, right? Keep the fire burning, as they say. And if you have an opportunity to explore your passions together and for one another, then do that too. That's part of that as well. Again, there may be a fire sign involved here too. Leo, Sagittarius, Aries. What's the masculine willing to do? Message from afar. A lot of this fire energy. This is probably Mars, right? The red planet that's doing all this. Again, he's in a communication state. So message from afar. That would be perfect to be representing Mars and Aquarius. And it's right here underneath the listening. So this is the masculine acknowledging he's willing, yes, to accept the messages from the universe and hopefully to actually surrender and follow them after he gets them. Follow through. But when we're having communication together as well, because that's one of the things we're listening to, the universe has guided us to communicate, right, to fix that problem with the failure to communicate. So in doing that, part of that communication is going to have to be truly listening and hearing one another and hearing one another out. And he's committing to that this week too. What would the universe have the two do? Tantric union. Even if you don't come together physically like this can be done in our dreams, or, you know, what we consider the 5D state, this telepathy. This can be done that way. The universe guides us to connect this week together. And the outcome, divine guidance and the full moon. And our energy of 8, yet again. Again, 8, all about infinity and things never ending, and the advice and support and guidance. And as long as we seek it, it's going to be available from the universe, you know, it's been like that from the beginning of time, and it'll be that till never worry, as they say. 8's also about justice, about the abundance that we want to open ourselves up to. And in supreme math, build, destroy. And I think it's important here. What build, destroy means is basically, if you're not like for us, you're against us. If you're not helping to build, then you're destroying. If you're not building up, you're tearing down. We need to co-create together and build together is the message here. Very nice. I want to ask the universe, I'm going to quickly shuffle these again. I want to ask the universe, what is something we can count on happening between the couple, whether it's physical or another way, by the end of the week. So meditation. I'm just going to quickly do this. want you to see that I'm truly shuffling them, but I don't want to spend too much time on it. This may be important, though. This is, again, more this energy of air and earth coming together and the need for healing, and part of that healing to be meditation. And of the air and earth, again, maybe most specifically Aquarius, this can really be all of the air signs: Aquarius, Libra, Gemini, or Taurus, maybe most specifically as it relates to earth, but of course it can be the other earth signs too. And I say that because this is really representative of Venus. She is both like the queen of air and the queen of earth. And so this picture says that to me. I have to show you the transients just jumped out of the deck. This is about full, surrender at our most vulnerable to complete overall healing from the universe. I'm just going to stick it back in arbitrarily and continue to shuffle for a moment. But as I had been shuffling for a while, I'm back on retreat yet again. Overall energy is forgiveness. So I want to ask the universe, what is something that couples that are in separation can expect by the end of the week? And couples that are in communication and perhaps together, or at least in some capacity in the physical, what can they expect by the end of the week as it relates to love, of course? But this message of forgiveness for everybody, right? It's the overall energy. And now the same with these. So remember, I was on young female. Now I'm opening to courting man. And I'm going to do this quickly too. Young female, dating. Makes sense on the heels of courting man. Female and mature woman. Mature woman. I like to cut into 6 because 6 equals love. Children. This is like the energy of the Empress, and new ideas, new communication, new love, new creating together. Can also be representative of some sort of party of 3, of course. This can also be about new abundance. Again, it's a very Empress-like for me, and that energy of giving birth to something new and being fertile. Also, if you've been trying to get pregnant, this can be a good time. So if you've been trying to make some children, this could be a good week to work on that. Overall energy here is open relationship, but I was shown that triangle is immediately behind it, this party of 3 as well. And I think that these two are here together because it's going to be, this week for many will be about narrowing down from 3 to 2 and being open about this relationship that exists. So what is something that by the end of the week those in separation again can expect, and those in some sort of communication and or contact, what can they expect? Oh, maybe that's enough, these 2 decks. All right. Miracles, guys, those of you in separation, as it relates to love, this week you're expected to remain hopeful and in faith, because by the end of the week, you'll see some sort of miracle occur in your life as it relates to love and your union. And as it relates to love and your union, we have to understand also can mean us. Like a miracle can happen in our lives as an individual that propels us forward, whether it's ever so slightly or, way ahead as it relates to our union. Anytime that we are healed and bettered and improved, so is the connection, so is the union. What about those who are in contact and or communication? The birth of something new. So you're entering a new phase together, just like that children card to which I came before. And here's like another party of 3, these 3 rays coming from this very Pentecostal like dove. So it's a sacred birth too, or giving birth to something sacred. I'm entering a new phase of your spiritual togetherness. From this deck, couples in separation, what can they expect by the end of the week? Past love. So some sort of unfinished business, as is also to be expected again, because of the Mars in Aquarius retrograde. You will be moved to complete some sort of chapter involving a past love, and it may be your divine partner too. It can be them as well, and the chapter can be that chapter of separation. You could be closing the books on that and moving into this new space even. And the couples that are already in communication and or contact, what can they expect? Expansion, growth. That's what Jupiter is all about. Growth, the planet of expansion, the planet of, people say luck. I say karma because I don't believe in luck. And growth. So just think big. We're giving birth to new things, and like the sky is the limit, basically, for you guys. I was just moved to do that. All right, I'm going to do one more spread. And then we will call this week's love reading a wrap, beginning with the Fool, the energy of the dreamer, which for me represents, particularly in this deck, Gemini and Virgo, because it represents the planet Mercury, which rules those two. Again, Mercury this week moves into Leo, where Venus is. On this card appears Archangel Metatron. It's all about a leap of faith. Follow your dreams because it leads to unexpected opportunities. I'm being shown dark mail, by the way, for anybody to whom that applies. It's a brand new path that we never walked. So like that, giving birth to something brand new, a new chapter completely. And opening to the moon, very appropriately. Again, at the end of the week, on the 28th, we have the full moon in Capricorn. And it is 9 degrees Capricorn. 18 equals 9. Important psychic insights, events behind the scenes. Release fears that hold you back. Masculine, that can be for you, specifically, I'm sure we have fears and stuff to let go of too. But remember, you had that golden memories card. That can be one of the negative things onto what you're holding. Just fear, ego, pride. Release that too. And just, even if you don't know everything that's going on, you haven't been shown everything, the universe says that's okay. We're guiding you to move forward. Follow the guidance. And you said that you would, right? You said you would listen to the message from afar. Dreamer. And opening to the King of Water, who's trustworthy, compassionate, respected, and cultured. Open your heart and mind to those around you. Trustworthy and heartfelt advice. And charity work, which, as far as I'm concerned, charity work is love. I don't know why they don't just call it love, because anytime you're giving of yourself or receiving freely without agenda, you don't want anything in return. That's love. The Dreamer. And it's another king, the King of Fire, who is motivational, idealistic, ambitious, and charismatic. Focus, focus, focus. Communicate with vision and be a leader. Take advice from someone creative. Well, both the King of Fire and the King of Water couldn't be a Scorpio. But other than that, the King of Water, who we just saw, might also be a Cancer or a Pisces or anyone likened to those traits or attributes. It's just somebody who is exuding love. The King of Fire is an Aries, if not a Scorpio, maybe, also ruled by Mars, or Sagittarius or Leo, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. The King of Fire, also a representation in general of the divine masculine in the tarot. And it can, again, be the divine masculine specifically who is taking this leap of faith and following the guidance that he's been given and going for it. And now you can see, peeking up from behind here, is the Queen of Fire. She says, what about me? Queen of Fire is confident, warm, intelligent, and graceful. Stretch your wings and fly. Don't underestimate yourself. Assert your independence and creativity. The Queen of Fire is confident, warm, intelligent, and graceful. She is a Leo, Sagittarius, Aries, or maybe a Scorpio too. And also, I am being shown to join this energy of the Dreamer, which already represents Gemini and Virgo, the Page of Air, who is also a Gemini as far as I'm concerned. Of course, can be a Libra and Aquarius too, or anyone likened to those traits or attributes. But the Page of Air is the more youthful, and Gemini is the more youthful of the air element. The Page is logical, honest, impulsive, and curious, and brings news. All pages bring news. This one brings information, like real news, wisdom, Truth. Challenging information, delays or changes to plans, and truth delivered without tact. And all of that could have been about all the fire and air that comes together this week. Again, Mars in Aquarius, Venus in Leo, Mercury in Leo. And it's the Two of Water. I just knocked down the star too. I saw Major Arcana card 17. Was it right? No, it wasn't behind it. But I did see it. In any case, Two of Water is all about a relationship that continues to grow closer, forgiveness, and the positive resolution of a conflict. Overall energy is the Four of Water. Missing an opportunity, discontentment, or boredom. Open your eyes to the possibilities. This is about, it can be about us having expectations, like that expectancy card, because we're expecting one thing, and we have this tunnel vision because we've got a planned outcome in our head, then we miss what's actually going on. If you're not in the present and you're focused on some future event, that may or may not come depending upon turns of events, then you can miss, like life passes you by. So that can be what that Four of Water is about. And I think it is, since that was also our opening message. Crowning the masculine this week, the Two of Earth, too much going on at once, the need to make a decision. Consider a more playful approach. Two of masculine, maybe juggling something. Two of Earth also for me, as you guys know, deja vu from hell. Let's keep ending back up in the same place. We really need to try to move beyond and come up with a new way so that this energy of new and new ways to do things can really help with this. This is also about balance, the need for balance. And to make some sort of decision connected typically to the earthly. Masculine surrounded by the Seven of Earth. Pause in action. Unnecessary worry. There's no need to be worried about sprouts not coming through the ground because that's what they, that they ultimately will. That's what happens when you plant seeds. They pop up through the ground after you water them and they get some sunlight. So we don't have to worry. That's not something we have to worry about. That we have to give energy to. Just be patient and allow it to grow. Masculine subconscious. The Magician with Archangel Raziel. You are ready. You have the resources or the ability to manifest them, and life is magical. For those of you about which this is connected to money, or those of you for whom this is connected to money, you have the ability to bring that abundance in. Now, of course, this can be connected to love too. Love is a form of abundance, but I'm just looking at the earth, the pentacles and the earthly. Whatever it is, the Magician shows up. The Magician, which represents for me the sign of Gemini or the other mutable signs, which I've mentioned earlier, but I'll say again, Virgo, Pisces, Sagittarius. You're surrounded by that energy and you have the ability to bring in whatever it is you feel you need in the moment, with your thoughts and words, what you speak over your life, what you think over your life. That's what the one is about. When we see the one and the multiple ones, and the 1111, people say, oh, that means you're a twin. No, that's not what it means. That's not what it means. What it means is the universe is trying to get your attention and showing you this repeating number so that you can be like, what's that about? And once you begin to take note, it tells you what this means is I'm calling your attention because I want you to watch your thoughts and I want you to watch the word you speak over your life. I want to alert you to the fact that you're a powerful being and that you can bring anything, you can attract anything you need, on this earthly plane. You have the power and the ability to do that. So I want you to be conscious of that. Remain conscious of that so your thoughts are pure and your thoughts are positive. That's what ones mean. Crowning the feminine. Major Arcana card 7, the Chariot with Archangel Metatron. The Chariot represents the sign of Cancer, which the sun has entered. So this is also important this week. The Chariot is all about being in the driver's seat of your own life, taking life by the reins and living it. Maybe living it like this is heaven now. And victory can also be about travel. So maybe going to visit one another. It can be about revisiting, metaphorically, being moved to go back and handle some old business by the planets in retrograde. Can be about actual movement or moving into a new home, maybe moving in together. Maybe that's what the decision is about, the masculine awaiting your decision or having to make a decision himself as to whether or not to propose something. He's waiting on the money first to rent the apartment or buy the home or whatever it is. Can also be about planes, trains, automobiles, modes of transportation. And as that relates to the Mars in Aquarius, they could actually be similar to Mercury retrograde. There could be some difficulty with travel. So I'm just gonna put that out there so that you guys don't get frustrated, and that if something pops up when you're trying to travel, just work through it, without allowing your thoughts to go to the negative. Remain in the positive and the fact that miracles do occur. Also, I want to point out that I started with a 7. That heaven card was card 7D. So it was a 7 and a 0 for cipher. And now here's another 7. 7's all about spirituality, God. The feminine is surrounded by the Knight of Fire, who's passionate, adventurous, self-assured, and restless, and can again be another representation of this energy of Sagittarius and or Jupiter. A sudden event that needs immediate attention. Time is of the essence. Think things through carefully. Other than that, the Knight of Fire is a Leo, Sagittarius, or Aries, or maybe a Scorpio, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. In the feminine subconscious, the Page of Earth, who is scholarly, dependable, patient, and successful. Good news about financial matters. Wanting to do something more challenging, maybe a new area of study. Yeah, it can be those things, but we don't have to take it so literally, like studying as in we're in school. For the love ring in particular, the new area of study can be this exploring new ideas and ways to communicate and new, paths toward love and ways to love, ways to express yourself, ways to express love. Also demonstrating, again, longevity and value and worth in the parties that are involved in a given relationship and the relationship itself. Page of Earth is a Virgo, Capricorn, or Taurus. Crowning, the Page of Air is back, logical, honest, impulsive, and curious. Challenging information, delays or changes to plans, and truth delivered without tact. For me, this is very Mercury in Leo. Mercury in Leo. Again, Mercury rules Virgo also. Page of Air is a Gemini, Aquarius, or Libra, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. But quite possibly a Gemini. This is like the second time. And of course, Mercury, again, is a ruler of Gemini. So that's very prominent this week. At the root, the King of Water, who is trustworthy, compassionate, respected, and cultured. Open your heart and mind to those around you. Trustworthy and heartfelt advice and charity work, which, as I said before, to me is love. At the heart of the matter, 8. Justice, which represents the sign of Libra, and the planet Venus, which rules Libra. Fair and just decisions. Do what you know is right. Stand up for your beliefs. Justice is about us finally getting our just due. It is also about us doing the right thing, and not the right thing as it relates to the earthly, but the right thing as it relates to the spiritual and God. Like what God has brought together, let no man tear asunder. What two souls God brings together, let no man tear asunder. Depends what version of the Bible you read. Like there's over 100 versions of the Bible at this point. But basically what the universe has for us, no earthly being is supposed to get in the way of. And we're not supposed to allow an earthly being to get in the way of that. So when I say doing what's right, that's what I mean. From that, not necessarily on this plane, not necessarily in accordance with man's law or what the church might say or what your mama might say or your friends or whatever. What you know in your heart and your gut to be right. That's what we're both masculine and feminine alike guided to do this week. We'll clarify these a little more with some Doreen virtue romance angels, beginning with that new love. A new person has stirred your romantic feelings. Your new love can be your old love. And here's the religious factors. That's what I'm talking about. Let go of the ideology. That's one of the things that's burning in your hand like a hot fucking rock. Drop that too. Old belief systems that no longer align with your life. Your love life is being influenced by your religious upbringing and spiritual path. New love. And calling in your soulmate. Your prayers, affirmations, and visualizations help bring you together. New love. Wedding. This situation involves marriage. What I just say? What two souls God brings together, let no man tear asunder. Justice can be about legality and something like actual marriage too. Maybe between an air sign and a water sign. New love. And love yourself first. Your self-respect makes you more romantically attractive. So again, that love yourself first, it's like this. It's doing what feels right to you in your gut, in your heart, not necessarily, what society says. That's loving yourself first. Putting yourself before, the strangers in the street. They're going to look at you sideways. Who cares? Your self-respect, how you feel about you, is what matters most. Calling in your soulmate. Makes sense. Overall energy is codependency, which is the energy of the devil, which represents the sign of Capricorn in the tarot. Codependency is any person, place, or thing upon which we, or with which we have a toxic relationship, or vice versa, that has a toxic relationship with us. In any either way, it's not healthy, and it's something from which we have to remove ourselves. It can be some sort of addiction. It says addictions are affecting your romantic life, and that doesn't have to mean substance abuse. It can. And maybe that's just one thing. Maybe you have substance abuse that's brought on by some sort of toxic relationship, and a divorce is needed too. That's the real deal. That's the truth that needs to come out. That's the honesty you got to give yourself. That's possible also. But this will be the time. This codependency, of course, connected to the energy of Saturn and of Capricorn and to this Capricorn moon. And so we're going to have to face these things. Atop the two of earth, and you may be juggling perhaps two relationships. Maybe that's what that three, the triangle, was behind the overall energy of open relationship and just two people. You've known each other before. This can also be about needing to find balance again in your relationships too. Two is about faith as well, the need to have faith. And so even if, as it relates to, for those of you for whom this two is about the need to make a decision, it's also faith in yourself and in the universe that things are going to go the way you've been guided to believe they're going to go, is provided you follow the guidance that you receive from the universe. Atop the seven of earth, let your friends help you. Ask for and accept support from others. Maybe rather than being anxious, ask your friends, you can talk to you on the phone, hang out with you, spend some time, and that will take your mind off worry. Atop the magician, one of the things that we're going after is this synergy of Sagittarius again, this very Cupid-like feminine here, shooting her arrow. She is the archer. right here toward the feminine. You deserve love. You are lovable. So again, I said the Magician is also connected to the other mutable signs for me. Here we have the Sagittarius, which is one of those mutable signs. So an actual Sagittarius may be involved, or this can just be that very passionate and fiery energy of going after what it is you want, and manifesting that, focusing in a positive way on that, on the divine feminine, or on love in general, whatever it is you're trying to manifest. Crown of the Feminine, the top of the Chariot. Give your relationship a chance and work on your partnership. The Chariot says that you'll be victorious if you get moving on it. Again, this is about movement forward, positive movement forward. You get moving on it, you'll be rewarded. Right, the work we put in, it pays off. We reap what we sow. Atop the Knight of Fire. New love, a new person has stirred your romantic feelings. Again, that person may be a fire sign. Doesn't have to be though. We could just be feeling very passionate and, desirous ourselves and going after what we want, which is this love under new management, so to speak. Atop the Page of Earth. Children, your love life is being affected by children. Again, this can be the energy of the Empress, but it may actually be someone's. For some, it may actually be a child. I feel of course, there's only two different kinds of children that we could have, but I feel a son most off. Somebody may be concerned how they're going to make something work when they have a son here. But again, when I said what God or the universe has brought together, no man is supposed to tear asunder. That includes our children, and we're not reinventing the wheel. We won't be the first women or feminine energies to have a child that we need to figure out how to incorporate into a blended family, and won't be the last. Even if we are divorcing. Because again, that's going to be the case for some. Even when we are divorcing, we're not the first to do that. We won't be the last. And, people do it every day and they move on. And it tends to be for the better, because living in a household that's not happy isn't healthy for children either. Crowning atop the Page of Air. Playfulness, and that's what the Gemini is, very playful and silly. I posted on my Facebook the other day. It was on one of my, I don't know how to use that story thing. I'm not very social media savvy, period. And I said I wanted to use that story thing, and I posted a picture of myself, a selfie, and I said, I just turned 47 on Wednesday, and I'm still silly, as all hell. Because Geminis are like forever youthful. So that's the energy that you want to employ. To recapture romance, allow your inner youthful spirit of fun to shine. Atop the King of Water, true love. What I say the charity work and the King of Water was all about. Love, true love. This is the romance of a lifetime. And atop Justice, trust. This situation is calling for you to have faith and to trust your gut and your heart and do the right thing, just like I said. Before I do the advice, some more about some of these. What was the Cancer? This here can have to do with a Libra. Also, specifically, I didn't mention that. May specifically be a Libra involved. Maybe a Libra with a water sign. And maybe more specifically than a Libra with a water sign, a Libra with a Cancer. Also, this person can be a Libra, Virgo, Cuspian too. The end of September, from the 22nd through, I don't know, the first few days through maybe like the 26th, I'm feeling. Can be somebody with a birth date during that period. Also, this is our 8-11 again, reminding us that anything that we experience over the next several weeks and actually 2 months is, all things are connected, but how very connected everything through which we're going now is to this event and to this time. This very what will be for some a very pivotal shift shift through which they're going, and it's also a preparation for that moment, and that's why the need for healing and resolving the karmic issues is so very important now. To prepare you for this. That's why we're being guided to review our lives and our relationships, and maybe get a reading to do that. And I'm not necessarily from me. I'm providing a discount for people that want to get them from me, but that's not what I'm saying now. I'm just saying, like, getting insight into what's going on in your life, reviewing your life, and your relationship, and also healing you and your relationship, so that you're ready when that time comes around, and especially if you're meant to be a part of that shift, you don't miss the opportunity. You don't pour water. Okay, it doesn't pass you by. What else was I feeling about this? Maybe that's it. I went to pick up the cards for the advice, and I started like seeing stuff. Even though it was covered, I started seeing like through the cards and saying, "Oh yeah, I didn't mention that. I didn't mention that." They're showing me dark male again. Went to pick up these cards. Dark male is here. Dark male in this deck is actually the representation of the divine masculine for me, but somebody, may have an actual dark male that is important in their lives. Oh, also there was another thing. It was with regard. Somebody may be. This is probably, I'm obviously picking up on the energy of one or two people at the most with this, but that sun that's coming through. Somebody may actually be pregnant right now. With a son due in August as well, and that is going to be particularly impactful, of course, upon you and your union, whether you are going to be together with the parent of that child or not. However that'll play out in your life. So that's the male child I was feeling here for somebody. They will be born. They will be a Virgo. So maybe in that during that energy of 8, during the month of August. Virgo starts on August 22nd, or perhaps a September Virgo, or Libra Virgo Cuspian. Further advice to the masculine this week: courting man, take action as it relates to love. Let me do some dating, or at least be expressive of yourself. You're making an attempt to work at the relationship or the person that you want, with whom you want a relationship. For the feminine, fair male. This is that karmic energy that represents Capricorn for me. And this may just mean that we're dealing with some sort of, again, karmic issue, some sort of lesson, maybe specifically with a Capricorn, or it can be from on a more positive note. We're dating a Capricorn. Yeah, it can be as simple as that too. This can also be connected to the devil in the tarot and that energy of codependency and or addiction, and a need to work out some karmic issues. The need for healing. Masculine, they're not going to let you escape this. You're being reminded that you made a promise to listen and to follow through with the guidance that you receive. And feminine, whereas this was the masculine's card earlier, it is now ours. We've got a hot bag of shit that we're holding on to as well, that we need to let go of and only take with us forward the golden memories. Masculine, you've got another 8. This is about an increase in spirituality, some growth, some expansion in this area, maybe being brought to you by that energy of Sagittarius. Again, ruled by Jupiter. Jupiter currently in Scorpio, so helping you to become expanded as it relates to your spirituality. This is also about your desire to move on and maybe to move. So to leave a circumstance, a situation, walk away from something or walk toward something else, depending upon one's perspective. A desire to move on, the search for something more meaningful, spiritual and emotional growth. To the feminine, Major Arcana card 13, release or death in the traditional tarot, which represents the sign of Scorpio. And again, the need to let go of something, drop it like a hot rock. It's the end of a phase or a situation. Spiritual transformation. It's time to move on. So this can be literal for us too, as far as moving. It can be either one, literal or metaphorical. Movement forward, away from the past, leaving the past alone, dead. From the romance angels to the masculine, getting to know each other. So this is more about this courting and, putting forth the effort to communicate and talk. As you reveal your innermost selves to each other, your bond deepens. And lastly, for the feminine from the romance angels, unrequited love. There's not enough attraction or chemistry to keep this relationship going. Well, from one standpoint, it can be about imbalance and the need to work on that. But I feel it's probably that for less people than it is for those that I said were in a relationship that needed to end. And that this here, justice, could even represent divorce or something, or the end of a marriage to something that we don't need, to something upon which we're codependent. A marriage to a toxic relationship, even if we're not legally married on this plane. A marriage to money, a marriage to something that's holding us back, that's limiting us. A marriage to old belief systems and ways of thinking and energies of again, resentment and pride and ego and pain and old hurt and the inability to forgive and all that kind of stuff. And that would also throw off our inner balance. That would make us emotionally imbalanced and unstable. So again, this is about the need for healing as well. We've come full circle. I hope that you guys have enjoyed the love reading this week. I'll be back with a full moon in Capricorn. Namaste, angels.
It's so hard, so